Welcome to Mueller time,
What's happening?
Politicon edition.
We're halftime of Politicon right now.
Yeah, we are at Politicon, the unconventional political convention. How was your day, man?
We had a good one. Day one of Politicon is in the books.
Yeah, I got about 2 hours sleep last night. I'm not saying that to brag, like some people brag about. You know, people are like, it's just what happened.
You too?
So, yeah, right. So I woke
That was
up.
a bad joke. I apologize.
Oh, I don't even get it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Never
well,
mind.
we'll come back to that at the
Okay.
end, but where you can reveal that to me.
Yeah, we won't.
So we're at day one at Politicon, the unconventional political convention, and we got down there. Well, I'm gonna let you take the reins.
Oh, well, we got in. I mean, we want to talk about how long and the line was and how hot the sun was. No,
Yes.
that's boring stuff. No.
So we got all the gear together, and we got down there about 10 a.m.
Look, go to all of our social networks. We've already got all kinds of content up.
Yeah, if you go to the Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, then I'll plug a little later.
Yeah.
We had some great interviews today. I'd have to say Michael Steele and Richard Painter, White House ethics lawyer, were my favorite.
Yeah, Richard Painter is our new friend this year. It's the way we met Michael Steele last year, and yeah, Richard Painter was really happy to sit and talk with us. And that video is already up on our Facebook and did it get up on Twitter too, or just Facebook?
I will put it up on Twitter,
Okay.
at least a piece of it a little later.
Yeah.
It was great because Richard Painter is one of those guys you can just you just basically turn the camera on and ask a question and he just goes.
I love his voice. He's got such a strange, gritty voice. I don't know how to quite describe it, but I love listening to him talk. He's on MSNBC all the time, and I dig that guy.
Yeah, he's great because he's like a legitimate ranter, which I like, as I consider myself like one in a different way. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And he absolutely is. I mean, every time the guy's like the most disgusted, entertaining guy. Like he doesn't make you not want to watch him. He's entertaining because he's part of it is because he's so disgusted with these people, like we all are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but just the way he talks, like how do you describe it? It's like he's talking through his teeth and he doesn't open up his mouth. It's like he's angry, but he's not always necessarily angry. Yeah, you just you'll see him. He does it in the video that we shot of Eric interviewing him today at Politicon.
He has his own unique style.
Yes.
Now, the Michael Steele interview, Michael Steele was the head of the Republican National Committee. This is actually, he's a great guy. We've interviewed him twice. So as we approached him, this is what happened. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Fox News' Jesse Waters employs these two, what are they, pranksters?
Yeah, basically they're pranksters. These guys that play up like the California surfer stoner image, and almost every week on Waters World on Fox News, he brings them on. And it's basically a way to make fun of California liberals.
Right.
So they're there, and they didn't have cameras or anything. They were just basically trolling Michael Steele right there in the middle of the convention floor, or in the middle of our friends Mueller She Wrote's live podcast.
Yeah, I actually did see a guy with a camera. I don't know if you saw that. He was a little bit behind.
Really?
He was hanging back a little bit.
No, you and I are going to end up on Fox News because we were right there with it. Oh no, we're busted.
Well, I'll be the one on Fox News.
I was standing there right there with the camera too. Yeah, we were right there in their shot.
Well, those guys are lucky that I was this close to saying something, and then I was kind of looking at Michael Steele. This is what happened. So these two guys, basically, I think what they were trying to do was a prank, where they were asking him, "Do you think we should build a statue to Paul Walker?"
Yeah.
The actor from Fast and Furious who was killed in a car accident.
Yeah, they want to build a statue. There's some story about them building a statue for him in San Clemente Beach. They made it sound like somewhere deep in Orange County.
This is the problem. Like, first of all, I'm a professional prankster. I actually made a prank TV show, so that never aired, but whatever, I made it. The point is that I know a lot about how to prank people, and one of the key things about pranking someone is you can't prank someone who's having a better time than you are. So
Michael Steele, he was smiling and he enjoyed talking to them.
So they're like, this guy's doing this fake surfer voice. Like, do you think we should like build this statue to Paul Walker in Northern California? And Michael Steele's like, yeah, that sounds good. So you're not a prankster.
Okay, I don't get what the joke necessarily is. I mean, Paul Walker was an actor and he tragically was killed in a car accident. What is there something funny about wanting to build a statue for him and then asking Michael Steele about it? I don't get what the deal is.
No, they were trying. Well, first of all, it's Fox News, so they're not funny. But also, they were trying to do like a, what do you call it, Sacha Baron Cohen Borat.
Well, no, I get that, but I don't understand how their method was a Paul Walker statue. I mean, when Sacha Baron Cohen does it, I mean, he comes up. I don't even want to
Well,
try to think
remember
of
these guys. Remember these guys aren't funny. I mean, Jesse.
Okay, I'm giving them way too much credit. You're right.
Jesse Waters' idea of comedy was to go out in the streets, and I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. He made fun of Chinese people's accents.
Oh, that segment was the worst.
And I'm not exaggerating. These guys think that that's funny.
Well, okay, that's basically what these guys are doing, though. But it's okay to mock California stoner surfers. Fine, fair game.
Right.
But those guys are. I mean, I bet there's a lot of real stoner in these guys, but they're definitely playing up the character thing. So my whole thing, though, is couldn't they come up with something better to come at Michael Steele with? I mean, like we saw Michael Steele's like, sure, build the statue. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I can't. Is it controversial to build a Paul Walker statue?
I was this close to saying something, and I didn't even know who they were. Actually, I would have loved it if I ended up on Fox News. But
we might be lingering in that shot.
No, but they would only air it if they'll never air something where somebody gets the best of them.
Yeah.
So had I done that, which I would have, obviously, I would have not have aired. But anyway, so the shot, if you do see him on Fox News, it's just going to be me staring at Michael Steele.
Well, look, since they didn't really nail Michael Steele, I can't imagine that Jesse Waters is going to have any use for that footage. So, yeah.
And then after that, correct me if I'm wrong, you asked Michael Steele, do you know who those guys are? And he was like, yeah, I know they're.
No. This is what he told me. No, he knew that they were being goofy characters. He was not aware, though, that they are regular characters on Waters World on Fox News.
Oh, okay.
He did not know that. But yeah, he totally got that they were putting them on.
Why are they even pranking a Republican? I don't understand that.
Oh, well, that's that. Okay, that's he's I think in the same boat as Jennifer Rubin, where they're not real conservatives. Why they shouldn't even be allowed to call themselves conservatives anymore, because she works for the failing Washington Post. No, who does Jennifer Rubin write for? The Times or the Post?
The Post. You got it right.
I always forget who writes for which one. And then Michael Steele is basically a talking head on MSNBC. So they're not real conservatives, and that's why those guys were picking on Michael Steele.
Look, I don't mind who you prank, and I don't care what their political affiliation is, but as a comedian, just be funny.
Yeah.
That was my issue. The reason I almost interrupted them, it wasn't even that they were, by the way, Michael Steele is a great guy, but it wasn't even that they were doing that to a great guy. It's just that it wasn't funny.
Yeah, they're not funny every week on Waters World on Fox News. They think they're funny. Jesse Waters thinks they're funny, and they're not.
These guys have a regular gig. Like comedians, it's a constant struggle upwards. And these guys have, hit a fairly big, I'm sure a fairly decent paycheck, even if it's just freelance.
I like that we haven't said their names. I don't even know their names, but
no, yeah. I don't know their names. Seriously.
Our friends from Mueller, She Wrote knew exactly who those guys were, but they knew them from the comedy world. They did not. When I was talking to them about it, they didn't seem to know that he is they're regulars on Waters World.
If you want to see some like comedy that's so bad it's epically like good, check out Red Eye. It was a show that.
Oh yeah, I used to watch Red Eye. That show was terrible.
Red Eye was when Fox News tried to do the Daily Show, but it was on at like 6:30 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning.
Well, no, it was like on the West Coast. It aired like 11 p.m. or something, and yeah, it was supposed to be a more comedy-driven version of Fox News, and they put it on that late night. But it wasn't.
But what I do
it
like,
wasn't funny.
I like that it's hosted by Greg Gutfield, who's obviously, again, just speaking as a comedian, he's obviously a failed stand-up comic.
Yeah.
Because I know that. Look, I've seen it. I've seen it at every open mic on somebody's face who's on stage. And whatever, the guy's successful. Like he found his own way to.
Oh yeah. Well, he's in the Saturday night lineup of Fox News along with Judge Janine, and the 3-hour block starts with Jesse Waters in Waters World. So yeah, the Greg Gutfield show is Saturday night. Wow, I'm plugging Fox News like mad tonight. What's wrong with me, Eric? That's what happens when you go to Politicon. And look, there were way more right-wingers there today.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, should we talk about the attendance?
Oh yeah, it wasn't as well staffed as attended as last year.
I want to give it a little bit of a benefit of the doubt since it is at the much larger, more massive Los Angeles Convention Center. So maybe things were spread out a little more. But it didn't seem like there were as many people this year as we saw last year. But Eric, I told you my theory earlier this evening.
You did?
Day 2.
Oh, day 2, yeah.
Day 2, the draw is going to be there for day 2. Here it comes because of Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro puts asses in seats. They're going to show up for Ben tomorrow.
You and I are going to have a private discussion about this whole Shapiro thing and your whatever's going on with you and him.
He lives rent free in my head. Come on, what am I supposed to do?
So we went into this. Politicon has this exhibit hall. It's, it's where you go to. You can sell stuff, or you get a booth, promote your product, and they have all kinds of just wild stuff in there.
Some of those booths are weird. I didn't think about it last year, but now seeing some of them repeated, I think some of them are fronts for Russian propaganda.
Well, you said something that at first it was funny, and then here's the thing: Politicon, no one knows who actually pays for it.
Yeah.
We know the people who they have, like people who are listed in press releases, but the person who actually pays for it,
who's funding it,
is unknown.
Yeah,
they say it's a rich Hollywood person. So you said, what if it's Russia? And then I laughed. I was like, wow, that's totally plausible now.
All right. Well, the thing that made me think that today was there are several booths in the exhibit hall for board games, political board games, and they all seem to be somewhat like they would be divisive. Like if you're playing this board game, you're going to be arguing about politics. And, well, that's just, I don't know. Did you go to Toys R Us to buy a political board game? I've never seen these games anywhere. And then we were at the one booth and we asked them the name of the company, and the guy wouldn't tell us the name of the company that makes this game. He got offended when I asked him.
I don't think he was offended. I think some of these places hire actors who, honestly, I've had those gigs. You don't know. You're just there for a paycheck.
Okay.
And
I want to think that was a Russian agent of propaganda that didn't want to tell me that he was a Russian agent of propaganda trying to sell me a board game.
But yeah, so I don't honestly think Politicon is funded by Russia, but we do know that in the 2016 election, they were successful in like organizing events that people went to.
Well, absolutely.
Parades and shit.
Now, and then every once in a while we hear about, that nonprofit organization that's very well loved by Republicans and people on the right. Wow, they have Russian funding, like the NRA. So how do we know like something like Turning Point USA doesn't have Russian money funneling their way?
No, I'm going to do you one better. I think every right-wing extremist organization is taking Russian money.
Yeah.
I would bet almost anything on that.
Yeah.
So we walked through this exhibitor hall. Like we walked by this Americans for Prosperity, which is like a Koch funded.
That's right.
Like, and then I asked the kid if maybe later we could interview him, and he was like, basically they have to get permission.
Yeah, they were. No one else was paying attention to this booth. Eric and I go up to it, and they'll told us who they were. They're Americans for Prosperity, who are a big super PAC, if I'm not mistaken, right? They're the Koch brothers super PAC.
I think you're right. I'm honestly not sure. They all blend together for me.
So they're there. There's nobody at the booth. It's not like they're meeting people. And I've got the camera gear. Eric's got the microphone, and we asked, hey, would you want to tell us what you're about? And the guy kind of hemmed and hawed, made it sound like he had to go ask permission from someone. But then, it wasn't like he was busy.
Well, I get it.
He didn't want it. He was trying to be nice, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they didn't want to interview.
Well, they're a lot more careful now. I mean, because this can happen to anybody, wherever you stand politically. Now people know someone puts a camera on you, like we said, what happened with Michael Steele. Mm-hmm. There's people out there who are trying to punk you, and all they need is 10 seconds of video. It doesn't even.
Okay, now when we were trying to interview Jacob Soboroff from MSNBC, we saw Jacob as he was walking through the exhibit hall, and he was super nice. He said, go talk to this particular person at the MSNBC booth. She handles all that. And we did. We found her. We talked to her. And she asked us questions. She wanted, it wasn't like any Kavanaugh-style interrogation. Well, maybe it was.
No, she was very nice.
Yeah, she was nice. She wanted to know about what our podcast is, and I made mention of I really enjoyed this particular segment from Jacob Soboroff last week. So yeah, we passed, and maybe we're gonna go hit him up tomorrow and get an interview with Jacob Soboroff. Yeah, but we were pre-screened.
Well, they're smart. I mean, I absolutely would and will do. Dude, I do that now. Mm-hmm. I do that now even when I'm in. I've been to some of these protests. Guy walks up to you with a mic, starts talking. I'm like, what outlet are you with? I'm not trying to end up on like. You know what I'm saying? One of these whack job.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the Gateway Pundit or something.
No, among others. See, these guys all think they're good at it, like those, but they're not. They're not as good as they think.
No.
The people who are whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you're a public figure, you especially like MSNBC, there's millions of dollars at stake with these personalities, sometimes more.
Yeah.
for someone like, let's say, a Rachel Maddow, who's the top,
Yeah.
they're not going to let Rachel Maddow just get interviewed by some,
Correct.
get played.
Now, on the other hand, though, you got Malcolm Nance and Michael Steele running around talking to whoever.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We tried to get Malcolm Nance, but he was busy. But we're going to try it tomorrow.
Well, yeah, he was on his way to a panel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that we understand. But yeah, he'll sit and talk to us if he's free.
He's a great guy. I mean, it's funny when you see him, like, because he's very like.
Remember who we saw him? Who he's hanging with today? He's so cool. He's hanging with Ron Perlman from Hellboy, from Sons of Anarchy. He's got like this cool Hollywood actor with him who's been probably banned by Trump on Twitter.
That's what's cool when you're like in Hollywood. Like when you get to the A-list level, like you just. Basically, it's like you just pal around with your cool friends.
Yeah.
Like, there's no good reason why I should see Ron Perlman walking around with Malcolm Nance at 10 in the morning, but it's just happening.
I saw him at Staples in Hollywood once. Not Malcolm Nance, Ron Perlman, Hellboy.
Yeah, Perlman is really cool. I mean, I'm a big Sons of Anarchy fan, but
Yeah.
when this whole election happened, he didn't pull any punches, and he's very vocal.
Yeah,
I really admire that, and he doesn't. Because people think like, oh, Hollywood's just left. It's easy for you. No, a lot of people don't want to go that far.
no.
They want to just keep it whatever. I admire him. I admire Chris Evans, Captain America.
Okay.
Talk about like the perfect role for, like, he's basically become that guy. He's very vocal about it, how he thinks Trump is disgusting. I mean, the guy is fucking Captain America. It's going to be more perfect. And I'm sure he's taken some hits from some fans for that. So yeah, it's funny when you see Nance walking around because Nance was like a commando, and then it's funny like you see him like he's so personable. He's talking to like these nice older people, and then you look at his page and it's like him dressed as a commando in Afghanistan. And I'm like picturing those two things next to each other.
He's a tough mother effer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that guy's so tough that he doesn't have to pretend to be tough.
Correct. Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about him.
Like he's just walking around like I wouldn't.
Yeah, we got to actually get him on camera and microphone this year, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best. Nice.
We're going to go.
Yeah, we're going to do our best. So yeah, we hit up the exhibit hall. What else? We saw our friends Mueller, She Wrote.
Yes, we did. We got to hang with them.
Mueller, She Wrote, the other Mueller podcast. Well, we're the other podcast technically because
compared to them, we're the other. Those girls are amazing at what they do.
But there's only
Those
two
ladies, excuse me.
There's only I think you're going to be fine on that one.
Well, no, I don't want to get busted like they're going to bust Will Witt from PragerU.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll cover that.
Okay.
We'll spend the requisite.
No, I'm not going to spoil what they're going to do to him. That's their thing to do. And then after they do that on their podcast, then we can talk about it.
So we caught Mueller, She Wrote. They had a booth, and then they did a segment, a live panel with Cameron Kasky from the March for Our Lives.
Yes,
that kid's funny.
And a comedian named Ada. I just forgot her last name.
Oh, I totally missed that.
It's on my Twitter account. She has another panel thing she's doing tomorrow at Politicon as well. Yeah.
Cameron Kasky, it's wild. This kid is only 17 years old.
Now, after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas tragic shooting, when he started going on the news with a lot of his fellow other students, is he the one that kind of made a joke about how he was a drama student, but he was a bad drama student? I think that was him.
I know he was a drama student, but I didn't hear that. Okay,
well, the point being is I saw that coming out of him while he really enjoyed being on the panel and having the microphone and talking to the crowd. You tell he liked being up there. He hammed it up a little bit, especially when he got an opportunity to do a Trump voice.
He's a funny guy. I mean, he was legitimately witty. Mm-hmm. I hope he I hope he pursues some kind of career that involves having that great personality.
After the panel, we were standing around talking to our friends from Mueller, She Wrote, and Cameron Kasky's right there. And I guess I overheard him saying how his 18th birthday is just days after the election, and he was very disappointed he doesn't get to vote in the midterms this year.
Yeah, well, he and all those other kids are, as far as I'm concerned, historical figures.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
I'm not sure they necessarily understand that, but their names will live on for a long time.
Yeah,
because of what they did. And then so we met there were a lot of various other characters. Met this fake ass congressman. Yeah. Remember that
guy? Oh, you got his pitch. Then you got his video director's pitch.
No, I was trying to interview this other guy who was dressed like Crazy Eddie from that commercial, and then he's like, "Oh, why don't you interview the congressman?" And I'm like, "I didn't." Here's the thing about how I interview. I look at someone and I get a feeling like, should I talk to this person? And I don't care if they're famous or not. And I did not want to talk to this guy, but the other guy's basically pushing me there. So I'm like, whatever, this guy's a congressman. All right. So first of all, he's not a congressman.
He's just a candidate.
He's running for Congress. That's a small difference, isn't it?
There's the difference between being a congressman and being a candidate.
Secondly, the guy's a complete right-wing whack job, which whatever can make it for a good interview. But again, I was just, the whole time I'm there, I'm looking at the crazy Eddie guy. Like, I want to talk to that guy. So finally, I finally cut this guy off, who's whatever. I don't even know what he was talking about.
Oh, like he was just giving you his stump speech. That's he was probably saying the exact same thing that he said to anyone that put a camera and mic in his face.
Yeah, well,
today
he did one thing. He made a very serious allegation against, I think, who is his opponent.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was nasty. I forgot about that. He called out his opponent for some.
Yeah, I'm not even going to repeat it. But
yeah. Oh well, look, we didn't even say anyone's names.
No, you're right. Yeah, but
yeah, no, he was saying that his opponent is had some sexual misconduct with a child.
I'm never going to air this thing. I'm going to delete it because first of all, the guy was insane. Yeah. And you can't say stuff like that. You can't make allegations like that if you don't have any proof. You've ruined somebody's name.
Wow, we just kind of went through that on a national scale, and there was proof, and it didn't actually get looked at. So, what's the difference?
Right. So, and I had a little bit of idea about that story, what that guy was saying, and it was bullshit. So anyway,
yeah, delete that interview. We don't need him.
No, he's not even a congressman. If you're gonna waste my time, at least like have some kind of position of power.
Yeah, and we didn't. I can't remember his name. He didn't. Yeah, he was. There wasn't anything remarkable about him. So no.
Who else did we interview?
We saw Weird Mike walking around.
Yeah, you keep using that name. Like, why do you? I don't get it. His name's Mike Cernovich.
Yeah, Weird Mike.
Yeah, I'll devote 5 seconds to this. Mike Cernovich, I'm sure you know he's a right-wing nut job. He's a dangerous person.
Yeah.
Because he's been very effective at spreading dangerous rumors that lead to real-life consequences.
Yes, he's responsible for a lot of the nonsense regarding Pizzagate.
I wouldn't go near him. I wouldn't interview him. I didn't even like being in the same proximity.
You were maybe 5 yards away from him at best, and
no.
Seeing him in real life, wow, that dude looks like he takes steroids.
Because nothing good can happen from being around someone like that.
No.
Even if you're like doing a podcast like this, nothing good can happen from talking to someone like that. So yeah, we saw him. Charlie Kirk was roaming the halls.
Charlie Kirk is way taller than I expected.
Yeah, because I'm 6'1", and Charlie Kirk, he was taller than me.
Charlie Kirk, the founder and president of Turning Point USA, a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, and he is unafraid to put political endorsements all over his personal Twitter account, and I think that should be illegal since he is the founder and president of a 501c3 tax-exempt organization.
Well, you should have told him that. He was right there.
Well, yeah. You should have talked to Cernovich.
No, I'm not. I don't talk to that guy. Yeah, so then Charlie Kirk debated Hassan Piker from the Young Turks, which was Hassan Piker was good. They were sort of, it was a lot of yelling, but
yeah, that's going to happen at this.
Hassan Piker is very good at that because he knows how to talk to these people, which is a kind of an art form.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the younger people, especially, they know how to. If you haven't been around that kind of internet culture, it may take you by surprise.
Yeah.
But some of the people who are now coming up like him, or Hassan Piker is about, I think he's in his late 20s.
Yeah, Hassan Piker has a bunch of good videos on Facebook where he takes down my favorite takedown target. There's mention number 2.
Oh yeah,
there.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro. Yeah.
Oh, you said it, so I got another. I get to say it again.
Yeah, yeah, he's good at that because he just doesn't care, and he knows his stuff.
Yeah. We
tried to check out Avenatti, but we were kind of busy, so we missed Avenatti and Kathy Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he'll be around.
Oh, that was the headlining event today. So I'm sure if any of our listeners want to see it, I'm sure there will be no trouble finding video of that on your favorite videoing services.
Yeah, Politicon's. It's one more day. If you're in this LA area, and you like, you listen to this show, it's worth the money.
Yeah, if you're listening before it starts tomorrow, come on down, or go next year.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to. It's one of these things where you can just wander around. You don't have to do a whole bunch of things. Mm-hmm. You just do whatever you want. If you just want to walk around and look at the exhibitors, if you want to go to a panel, whatever. what else happened? That was pretty much it?
I think that was our day for the most part. We got a whole another day to do, so let's why don't we wrap this up and do a big full one tomorrow night after we finish the Sunday second day.
I feel like there was some other stuff that happened. I have that vague, lingering feeling like I missed something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must have been some. Oh, well, so the MSNBC crew, everyone is there except for Rachel Maddow and Chris Matthews.
Well, we can't say everybody. No,
pretty much everybody.
No Chris Matthews, no Katie Tur.
But everybody
no
else.
Stephanie Rule. But no, the people that they had from MSNBC. We had Lawrence O'Donnell, Joy Reid, Ari Melber, Jacob Soboroff, Casey Hunt.
Right.
These are all the on-air talent, and we saw lots of people from MSNBC that are the talking heads that come on as analysts, like Michael Steele and Malcolm Nance.
One thing that is great, too, the Washington Post has a whole display.
Oh, T-shirts.
Yeah, we got a bunch of free... Are you okay?
No. I just got excited over the Washington Post T-shirt, the Democracy Dies in Darkness T-shirts that you and I both got.
Yeah, the Washington Post has a whole booth there. And one thing that I think is really cool they're doing, and I'm not sure a lot of people realize this, because of what happened to Jamal Khashoggi, their journalist who was killed in the by the Saudis. I saw Ruth Marcus on TV basically saying that they're going to get their own form of payback. They're gonna devote a huge, and they have substantial resources into. They're just going to basically tear the Saudi empire and Washington, people who work with them, apart.
Wow.
You're going to be seeing so many articles over the next years, and it's going to be pure to because of what they did to him.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's already starting because before we started recording tonight, I'm on Twitter, and there's a thing going around on Twitter tonight. I guess Oliver Darcy from CNN is calling out The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, because The Rock had Mohammed bin Salman?
MBS.
The Rock had MBS at his home here in Los Angeles for dinner earlier this spring. And so, yeah, Rock is being asked about that now and being shamed. As he should be.
Yeah. Look, the guy MBS was doing dirt at that time. But just to be fair, I think I would give The Rock one shot to just explain himself. You know what I mean?
Like I said, he's getting called out on Twitter,
yeah.
And we haven't heard yet from The Rock. So, yeah, let's let The Rock explain himself.
And then, because a lot of these celebrities, like if you do a little YouTube research, you'll see I think Hillary Swank once made a speech in Russia not in Russia, but it was like one of the former parts of the Soviet Union, to a complete bloodthirsty dictator. Wow. And he threw her, no, I swear to God, it was his birthday party. And she gave this whole speech, and then people were like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Wow. This guy has, the whole thing. He's a dictator. And she had to apologize. Mm. And then she was like, well, somebody else booked it. It was like, come on.
Yeah.
Like
it was other kids.
You didn't know like what was going on there. That's
they know what's going in their pocket. So hell yeah.
And then so Greg Miller, who's a reporter at the Post, he wrote the book The Apprentice. Mm. By the way, best title I've ever seen for a book about Trump. Like this is a golden age of Trump books, but that one, talk about a perfect title. Mm-hmm. And he I'm reading that book right now. He did a whole discussion, which is really good. Mm. And The Apprentice, there's a lot of, Fear, Bob Woodward. There's a lot of good books now. But this book by Greg Miller is, I find the writing.
Yeah, I haven't heard this. I haven't read this one yet. Are you saying that the author was at Politicon today, or does he have something tomorrow?
He's a Washington Post reporter. Mm-hmm. He's a Pulitzer winner, so he was there, or Pulitzer or whatever. So he was there doing a panel discussion.
Yeah, in the Washington Post own exhibit there, where they had their own little panels. Where we saw Phil Rucker.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, it covers some of the same ground as like Bob Woodward's book, or let's say Russian Roulette, but it has its own. I don't know. It's good. I recommend checking this book out. Yeah, it's really good.
Now email it to me when you're done with it.
It's on my Kindle, and also that one.
Yeah, email it to me when you're done with it.
I'm sorry, that's not fair to the publisher. Come on, man. You know how long it probably took the guy to write that? Why don't you go buy it?
Okay, I'll go buy it.
I honestly, even if I wanted to email it to you, I don't know how to get it off of Kindle.
Oh, okay.
On that note, is there anything else that you think I missed?
Well, you know what? You nailed the Washington Post thing, which is what we forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw Phil Rucker do his thing, and
yeah, that was cool seeing him, man.
I put a clip of that up on the did I put it on my Twitter? Yes, it's on @LowProgressive. You'll see about a minute and a half of Phil Rucker talking about Saudi Arabia at Politicon today on my Twitter account.
It's become personal for them.
Yeah, well, absolutely. They killed one of their own.
Right.
They get it. Yeah. So
And
Washington Post is going to take down a Middle Eastern regime.
I'm not sure, or maybe they do know, or maybe they don't, but I'm not sure that Trump and the Saudis understand the resources of a paper like that. It's like worse than having a big police department after you, or even the FBI, because they basically are investigators. They're just a different kind of investigator, and the resources. I mean, they have an article about the Saudis that killed Khashoggi. I mean, I don't even know how they have this stuff. They have their passports. They match things. They know exactly who they were. I mean, it was like what you would read in a investigative report, except it's the paper. So, yeah, if you want to follow our Politicon coverage, there's the Mueller Time Podcast Facebook page. There's Mueller Time Pod on Twitter. And you're over at what?
At Low Progressive on Twitter.
My personal account is Eric LeVay. And also, if you guys could leave us a review just on the podcast on iTunes or wherever, that would be a great thing to do. And otherwise, we'll be doing a special show tomorrow.
Yeah. Politicon wrap-up on Sunday.
And then I guess we'll do our regular show, too, on Monday. Maybe. We'll see how we feel.
Let's see what happens tomorrow night. Yeah.
But otherwise, as always, I guess we'll be catching you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
Welcome to Mueller Time.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. How was your Politicon?
Oh, we had a good time. So we don't number these episodes. This is a special edition, right?
These are special editions. Sorry, I'm doing like 5 things at once right now.
It is the Day 2 Politicon wrap-up of the Mueller Time podcast.
Yes, we attended Day 2 of Politicon, which was, I was much more well-rested than Day 1, which was good.
I was as well.
So who was your favorite person that we saw today? And real quick, if you're tuning in for the first time, Politicon, the unconventional political convention, which we saw in downtown Los Angeles, California, the Comic-Con of politics.
The South by Southwest of politics.
A better way to say it.
Yeah, but more people know what Comic-Con is.
Who was your fave today?
Well, of course, Malcolm Nance and the Fonz were my fave today.
Yeah, we saw a special. That honestly was when I knew I was coming this year, I made the pledge to myself that I would go to more panels and not just run around with a camera, because I do want to have some fun.
Yeah.
So that panel, I just sat there and took 1 or 2 photos, but yeah, Malcolm Nance was interviewed by Henry Winkler.
Yeah, Malcolm Nance told a story about basically the original Russian propaganda fake news. Well, maybe not original, but before the Trump era of fake news. He was mentioning how the HIV virus, there's an old rumor that the CIA created it to kill off homosexuals and African Americans. And Malcolm Nance told us about the man who actually created that rumor, wrote a book about it and everything. So yeah, Carter Page was sitting in the front row listening to Malcolm Nance talk about Russia and Russian propaganda. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was fascinating. I've heard that theory before from conspiracy theorists, but Malcolm Nance is such a smart guy. Like when he said that, I knew it was true. And it's just amazing. So even back then, that thing's been around for 25 years, that conspiracy theory in Russia.
Longer than that, 30-something years.
Yeah, and the Russians came up with that.
Yeah, something else he had said in the same portion of that panel was that Russia would buy up weird newspapers, like in weird parts of the country, and just write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fake stories, hoping the Associated Press would just pick up one of them. Yeah, and that's because that's all they would need to spread discord.
Right. It's just it's like you cast a really wide net and just see that's what happened in this 2016 election. As much as Putin is getting credit for the greatest, what is maybe being called the greatest intelligence operation of all time, the truth is to be fair, he probably deserves that credit, but he didn't know that it was going to come off like this.
Yeah.
It exceeded beyond his wildest dreams.
Yeah, sure did.
So yeah, Malcolm Nance was the guy's so smart. I mean, he comes off to me like, I mean this in a positive way. You could tell the guy's like a nerd in a great way.
Okay.
No, absolutely. Like he's a bookworm. Yeah. He's like a tough guy, commando, all that stuff. But you could tell this guy gets into it. He's wonky. He's like us.
Yeah.
Except we didn't serve in the special forces. And
we don't have that.
We're not in combat
that he has when it comes to that stuff.
But he was awesome.
Yeah.
So we've been uploading a lot of videos to the Mueller Time YouTube page.
Yeah, and to the Mueller Time podcast page on Facebook, where you can see a clip of Malcolm Nance telling the story about the CIA creating, the fake news about the CIA creating the HIV virus. I have him telling that story on our Facebook page.
By the way, appreciate everyone who watches these videos and reaches out.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
starting to see a lot more what I'm going to describe as, I'm trying to think of it diplomatically as strange comments. So, yeah, if we could just like, before we type out a comment, this is good advice for anybody, not just them, it's for you and I. Just kind of think about what you say. You know, there were some fairly odd comments.
I have something to say to a particular commenter. I don't know what the commenter's name is, but it's on our Facebook page. Robert Mueller is not actually part of this podcast, so he's not going to get your message. Yeah. And we unfortunately don't have a way to contact Mueller on our own. We understand your feelings, we understand your sentiment, and we really appreciate you listening, but we just don't have a way to pass along a personal message to Robert Mueller.
She seems like a really nice lady, but I hear you. No, it was a good thing you said that. Yeah. You know, not everyone, well, whatever. Facebook appears to have all kinds of people.
Yeah.
But like any entertainer, I appreciate anyone who listens.
Absolutely. Like I said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for commenting.
Actually, by the way, I'm not really sure she listens to the podcast, but some people on the Facebook page just are on the page.
Okay, I could see that.
She might listen.
We put up plenty of content too, like linking stories and stuff from other news sources.
It was funny on these videos. Well, whatever. I'm not going to go on about the YouTube page, but thank you for subscribing, and we're going to get up a lot more. So we've got Richard Painter up there. Today's videos, we're going to have, who did we get today? I'm fried.
Today we got, wow, I'm drawing a blank because I'm so exhausted.
We didn't get as many like quote unquote famous people today, but we did get a number of sort of politicos and a journalist or two. Yeah, we'll get it up later.
We got some goofy cosplayers.
Yeah, we got the Lincoln and Ben Franklin cosplayers.
Who are the same exact Lincoln and Franklin cosplayers that were there in cosplay last year?
Well, last year was Franklin and Hamilton, actually.
Okay.
But I caught a vibe right away that, you know, from like, again, one entertainer to another, that these guys were fried. Like I could just tell they were over it, ready to leave.
Well, when you called them out for drinking, they totally copped to it right away.
No, I got that vibe that like if they weren't drinking, they wanted to be drinking. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I was like, it was funny. You'll see when you see the video, because I'm talking to two guys dressed like Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin. I was like, hey, have you guys been drinking? And they were just, you could tell it kind of, because when people see us, they just assume you're like a journalist. Like, I'm not a journalist. I'm basically like a comedian with a camera. And you and I are working together. So I think the guy, they kind of looked back and then he kind of like started laughing.
Yeah.
We saw Jill Winebanks. That was awesome.
Yeah, she was hanging around, and Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post. She was really sweet. We took a picture of her. And,
yeah. I didn't get interviews with them. I'm getting better at this thing, but it's not like I've been doing this forever. Again, not a journalist here, so I'm not like TMZ. In fact, I was once offered a job at TMZ doing that, and was like, no, like I'm not that guy.
Okay, and I know for months and months now, I've been calling out Ben Shapiro and all of Ben Shapiro's underlings for months. And, you know what? I did not have the nerve. I saw some of them running around. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go up and ask some, like, crazy question to try to put him on the spot. Yeah.
Well, we saw Charlie Kirk, who yesterday was triggered.
Charlie Kirk, the head of TPUSA, Turning Point USA.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Did you just come up with that?
TP, come on. I mean, no. I mean, yes, I just came up with it, but I mean, don't give me points. It's obvious.
Oh, hey, I've never heard someone not want to be complimented for that's an interesting part of your personality.
Charlie Kirk's Toilet Paper USA.
Most people, especially coming from someone like me, would like consider that a compliment.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, Eric.
No, it's fine.
Thank you.
It's fine.
But I'm just being a little modest here. That was that was low hanging fruit easy.
There's some people who literally would fall over if I said they were funny, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
All right.
So yeah, Charlie. So I ran into actually Sam Cedar, which was awesome. Who said he'd come on the show sometime?
Yeah, let's hook up Sam Cedar to be that'd be our first big time guest.
But I was laughing at Sam. I don't think he'd mind if I said this. He said he was goofing on Charlie about it getting triggered.
Now, Sam Cedar and Charlie Kirk were on a panel together, correct? I missed that one.
Yeah, the day before, if you were...
was he hosting that one?
Well, the day before, just for people who didn't know, Charlie Kirk got triggered when Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks asked him what his salary is. By the way, why that's a triggering thing, I don't know, but maybe that's like for Republicans, they get upset.
Well, if you can find this video. This is the video that's made it all over news websites from coming out of Politicon. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was asked about how he makes his money because Turning Point USA is a 501c3 tax-exempt, nonpartisan organization. But they don't really have to report where their money comes from, and he doesn't want to tell you. So when the Young Turks started asking him about his money, that triggered him, because he's probably getting funding from sources that would make him look really bad.
Yeah, like
foreign nations,
like Vlad somewhere in. not to put too much of a bullet point on it, but yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, these tax exempt organizations that push right-wing partisan politics when they say they're nonpartisan. There's so many of these organizations, and they scare me, and I don't like them. They get away with it.
Yeah. The only I will say, seeing one impression I came away from at this Politicon was, like with anything, when you're one-on-one with people, you just act differently. That overused word, civility. Yes. So we were around people that like you may have even done battle with on the internet, but it's just like always is another human being. Well,
yeah, okay, that's exactly what happened to me here. Like Cassie Dillon, the lone conservative, low conservative, who I'm low progressive on Twitter.
Another person that no one knows who that is.
Come on, if you follow right-wing nutjob politics, you know who Cassie Dillon of the Real Daily Wire and lone conservative is. But whatever. So she's running around with a microphone and a camera crew. And we had opportunities. I could have gone up and said, hey, I'm that dude on Twitter that's been busting your chops. And I didn't do it.
That's because you leave all the hard stuff to me.
Oh, wow. All right.
I am.
Yeah, you had to carry everything just the one time. I'm sure that was so hard.
No, I'm talking about the guy in front of the camera who has to do all that stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
it's pretty tough.
No, I never said it wasn't. But I there's things I can ask these right-wing nut jobs that I didn't do it because Now, did you get the sense too that the left was totally outnumbered by the people in attendance?
No, I didn't.
I totally did. I felt like most of the people attending that went are all Trump supporting right-wingers. I'm going to say it was like 80-20%. And I'm not talking about the panelists. I'm not talking about the booth exhibitors. I'm talking about the people that actually just went.
Yeah, well, I think they stand out more like with the hats, the red hats and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But
okay, there were no left-wing cosplayers.
Remember, that group of people, the Trump supporters, this is statistically it's a small part of the society. It's 20 to 30% of people still are his base, right?
Yeah.
So when they go to a thing like this, they're much more likely to wear crazy clothes just to express themselves. So we may get a view that's not quite the way things actually are.
Oh, I pointed out the one dude running around with a MAGA hat and a T-shirt that said "Muhammad is gay." I mean, that guy's just asking for it.
Wow, he was really wearing that?
Yeah, I maybe I didn't put that picture up yet, but I pointed him out to you, I think.
That's a guy I would have actually enjoyed interviewing because I would have destroyed him on camera, and I don't usually do that, but I didn't see him.
Yeah,
just to wear some garbage like that, that's just garbage.
I wonder if he has the nerve to actually wear the Muhammad is gay T-shirt in public somewhere, not inside a safe convention.
I know,
not his Politicon safe space.
That's a little. I got to say, I understand Politicon is about the free speech, but that's basically hate speech. It's a little disappointing that if I was running the show, I think I would maybe have some kind of policy about that. The Make America Great. I mean, you can make
you say that, but that's what that guy wants.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to make a big deal out of this T-shirt. And if you were the one running Politicon and said you can't come into Politicon wearing that T-shirt that says Muhammad is gay, that's what he wants you to do. And then he would make a huge big stink, and then Ben Shapiro would be writing about you in the Real Daily Wire.
Yeah, but those are like 30-second stories. Those stories, like I've said, these people are only important to like themselves. Like maybe your buddy Shapiro there, he's the only one who's gotten to a bigger level.
Say that, you just wait till 2020 and 2024 and then say that to me again. That dude has the massive following, and it's only growing. It's only getting bigger. So, yeah, maybe the underlings of his that I like to pick on as well. Sure. Ben Shapiro is the real deal, and he's frightening.
Yeah, well, okay. It was funny watching all these people like hustling because that's what everyone does there. They're just like trying to sell something.
Oh, yeah.
And
like these kooky board games that I can't imagine anyone is ever going to buy. Like, what was the Snowflake board game?
Yeah, there were a lot. There was one.
Then there was the Deplorables board game. I think we were talking about the board games on last night's episode. So yeah,
there was one board game, called like Victimology.
Yeah, Yeah, I think all these booths and exhibits. I think a good number of them were, I don't know, fronts for some sort of right-wing super PACs.
And then we did an interview with this big podcast called The Oval. Yeah, another podcast. The Oval Office Tapes by R.J. Cutler and Blumhouse Productions.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was fun. We talked a little bit about that on yesterday's episode, but we went and talked to them today and saw some of their live panel.
Yeah, that was an interview in like an actual, I guess you would call it, I think they call it like a junket where the guy is in one room, right?
Yes.
And so in my head, I'm always thinking these people must be so bored. And remember, I asked him that. I was like, "So how bored are you?" And he's like, "No, I enjoy this."
Yeah. Well, even if he's bored, he's not going to tell you he's bored because that's the dumb thing to tell a reporter.
But I'm not a reporter. That's what's so great.
But he doesn't know that. You're coming in there with a camera and microphone to talk to him, ask him questions, and put that up somewhere. Yes, you absolutely are a reporter when we went in to talk to the Oval Office Tapes guy.
So I just kind of went with my gut, and I ended up talking. We talked about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you can only talk about someone's project for so long. Even though it is a really cool podcast, the premise, just so you guys know, is that basically the White House is bugged, which is, by the way, we all know that's true.
It actually is, but he's claiming that he has the tapes.
Right.
He's sent the tapes every week.
Right. Right. That he gets the tapes every week. It's got some really good actors. It's kind of like if you like that old school, you know, the way radio was in the beginning.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. It's a radio play. He's doing.
It's a radio play, and it's satirical.
Because podcasting killed radio, so now it's a podcasting play, not a radio play.
Is that true? Did podcasting kill radio?
It basically has. People listen to podcasts now. They don't listen. When's the last time you listened to the radio?
Well, long before podcasts came along, I kind of had slowed my radio stuff.
Well, podcasting killed it dead for good.
I don't actually personally believe in this killing thing. I think that things evolve. I think that when I was growing up listening to radio, a lot of it was like it sucked. Like I can see why podcast
radio. There was always plenty of sucky radio. Yes, but now there's like next to no radio at all.
Like
I'm exaggerating, yes, but
podcasting, you have so much more control. It's like you can listen to it whenever you want. It's cool. It's
one of the things I don't like about listening to podcasts is in terms of it having killed radio. I like live radio. Podcasts aren't live, and we bring that up here every week. Like, oh wait, if we tell the story tonight and it doesn't get uploaded for 2 or 3 days, is it going to be old news?
Well, a lot of what you learn when you're podcasting is when you look at these analytics. A lot of people seem, even if it's a news thing like this, they don't really seem to mind.
Yeah.
You know, and then
I know, look, I'm weird. I'm different. That's me. I couldn't listen to like the old stuff. I would want to listen to the newest, freshest episode.
I mean, yeah, they don't go back they're not going to go back like 6 months usually.
Well, no, we had that one comment from a listener that said, I think it was around week 17. Oh, I went back and listened to all 17 episodes. I'm like, okay, thank you.
That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. No, some people, look, it's like a TV show. You can marathon it. Some people.
I have a hard time imagining anybody is sitting down binge listening to us.
I listen to my voice. I would listen to my voice anytime.
Okay.
In fact, when I'm not taping this, that's basically what I do is play recordings of my own voice.
Oh.
Back and forth. Yeah. The Donald J. Trump of podcasting. You'll notice I don't ever play news clips involving him on this show because we're not going to because we don't have to.
Okay, so one thing topic that kept coming up as we were meeting people all weekend, lots of people want to know, when is Mueller going to deliver? That came up a few times with several different people.
Yeah, you're right.
And the consensus, though, some people seem to think it's the first Wednesday in November, the day after the election.
Yeah, I asked Richard Painter, I was like, come on, it's going to be November 8th, right? Like, or whatever, the day after the election. Yeah. And he was like, well, no, probably about a month. And I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll take that. If he's right, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, we went to this great panel called Trump on Trial, which that was, except, that honestly might have been my favorite one. That
was a good one, yeah. That was the one with Richard Painter and Jonathan Capehart. Yeah.
And Jill Wine-Banks.
Jill Wine-Banks was up there. And, what's the woman?
Zerlina Maxwell.
Yes, I can never remember her name.
And they were just talking about, she's good. She's the head at Sirius XM Progressive Programming. Mm-hmm. I sent her a message about this show. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm going to keep trying. No, that was a great panel. Yeah. Because that was about what's going to happen.
Yeah. The right-wing nutjobs think it's, even if Mueller's report comes in, it's going to be damning, but it's not going to matter. I heard that from some people this weekend.
They've made a fatal error because as Jill Wine-Banks pointed out on the Paul Manafort trial, that Trump juror voted to convict Paul Manafort
Yeah.
on all 17 counts.
Yeah.
A diehard Trump supporter.
Yeah, that's Jill. That was Jill Wine-Banks and
Right.
Trump on trial thing.
And then
Yeah.
I believe Zelina Maxwell followed up with the point that I made, which was that Trump, because of the power of the presidency, might skate in terms not getting what he deserves, but the people below him will suffer the same fate as Manafort.
Mm-hmm.
And take that if you need a pick me up, think about that.
Yeah.
The MAGA people don't really care about maybe a little about Ivanka, but they don't really care about those other people.
Well, let's see what happens when they all start getting indicted. I mean, the way that Avenatti was going after Donnie Jr., saying that you're going to be indicted before your birthday, December 31st. I think some of the MAGA hat, red tie wearing losers we saw this weekend might actually care about Donnie Jr.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, it's,
And now who at the Trump on trial panel made the comment about how Paul Manafort is now having failing health? And that's a result of him being treated like any other criminal now. And he gets to complain about it, though, publicly, where other prisoners don't get to complain about that publicly.
Yeah, well, that was just that wheelchair. Paul Manafort in a wheelchair is just a lawyer's trick. I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it. Well, I don't. I hope it's not. I hope he's really health just took a really horrible turn for the worst.
Well, look, I mean, I don't wish
I'm
bad health
wishing
on him.
ill will on Paul Manafort. Yes.
Oh, okay, no, I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to do that. It's free speech here.
Well, it sure sounds like you're telling me not to.
No, I mean, look, I don't harbor the same, as much as I don't like Manafort because he was part of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, in some ways, I don't harbor the same feelings towards some of the other people, because Paul Manafort is just a straight hustler. That's what he was doing. Like, I don't know what he believes personally, but I don't think he's cares about a fucking wall going up. He was just hustling.
He obviously doesn't care about it not going up, though.
No, he doesn't care at all.
I mean, so look, he's 100% complicit. He's just as.
Well, don't get me wrong. I don't care what happens to the guy. I'm just saying, I don't wish some kind of horrible death on him. I just hope he goes to jail.
Well, he's there now.
Yeah, he is. You're right. He's going to stay there. He's going to stay there for a while. He's a very smart guy. He knew how bad this was before, I think, a lot of people. I mean, he's a lawyer.
And it did not stop him from making it happen.
Well, he needed money.
Yeah.
That was his fatal mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But that's true of a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, Politicon was pretty great.
And now Politicon's going on the road, right? They're doing Dallas and they are doing, is it Phoenix?
I believe so. It's somewhere in Arizona.
Politicon.com. It'll tell you where to find it.
Yeah. We caught up again with our friends at Mueller, She Wrote, or as I now call it, Ghoster, She Wrote.
Oh, come on. That's mean. Don't say that.
Jordan was laughing. No, it's hilarious.
Because Jaleesa wasn't at the booth?
She was laughing. No, I said because they ghosted us and we were going to hang out.
Yeah, that's right. They ghosted us, didn't they?
That was hilarious. No, I just passed out, I think, but I was like, hey, you guys are called Ghoster, She Wrote now. I hit that punchline right on the thing. It was funny. Yeah, they were great. They were doing a lot of podcasting there, and
yeah, they were having live podcasts in their booth, and they were getting some interesting people showing up, like people from PragerU and the weird stoner dudes from Waters World.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah,
on Fox News.
Yeah, Politicon is just all these odd characters hustling their their wares.
I got to say, it really wasn't much different than last year in Pasadena. It really felt like a rerun instead of another year another year, but new stuff. It really felt. I mean, the booths were exactly the same.
Yeah, they were very similar. I hope they did well. I really, because I want it to continue. So I just hope. I don't know much about the business end of that, how much profit you need, but it was a much bigger venue, and I know that not everything was sold out. So anyway, I just really hope that it went okay for the Politicon people.
Like all the big panels had speed pass lines, 100% unnecessary.
Yeah, in that situation, whereas last year, if you didn't buy the speed pass, you could get locked out of other events. But I really hope they do well. I think it's a.
Well, look, that's going to be the rooms that they have for these events at the Los Angeles Convention Center are massive. So that you're not going to really miss out. I don't think nothing was at capacity.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro's crowd, yeah, I got to say he did a pretty good job filling that room.
I was hoping that the MSNBC people would have stuck around, but because we had talked to whoever Jacob
the
Soboroff,
publicity person, and we didn't even see her there today.
Well, they didn't come back. Jacob Soboroff wasn't there today.
No, but I saw Casey Hunt today. Who else did we see? I saw Kurt Bardella. He's not a full-on anchor. He's just one of the analyst talking heads they have on all the time.
Kurt Bardella was on a panel, but I think you're thinking of somebody else.
No, that's who I'm thinking of. He's on MSNBC all the time. He's always on AM Joy, and Chris Hayes has him on. Yeah,
the guy who used to work for Breitbart and then became basically he's like a Democrat or liberal now. Yeah, he's very good. I didn't realize he was on MSNBC that often.
Yeah, I know. Chris Hayes and Joy Reid have him as an analyst all the time.
Oh, that's great.
That's how I know who he is, because I didn't read Breitbart. No.
Yeah.
I'm lying. I have read plenty of Breitbart, but I don't remember their names like I remember the names of Ben Shapiro's website writers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird with these characters walking around. And like I said, when they're right in front of you, everybody's like much more human to each other. But make no mistake about it. These radical right-wing people are dangerous. They're very dangerous. And some of them don't even, like the people we saw, whatever.
Well, okay, you're right. And dangerous.
But
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that I forgot it.
All right. Well, our friends from Mueller, she wrote,
Yeah.
they had Will Witt from PragerU as one of the guests, and they were telling us about. Now it hasn't even aired yet, so maybe I'm spoiling their thing. But they were telling us how Will Witt believes that not everyone should have the right to vote, and there should be some sort of education test.
Right. So this country's been through that before. That's called racism.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And here is PragerU, and here's their spokesman. PragerU is another one of these 501c3 tax exempt organizations that are supposed to be nonpartisan. And here, that's why he gets away with expressing that view.
Oh, what I was going to say was some of these people don't realize how dangerous they are, which makes them even more dangerous. As some of them gain a following, they're not all pure motives. Some of them just want to be on TV. They want to be famous, and they've latched on to an ideology. And people don't understand the power of media. I mean, I don't know if you remember this. There was this guy, I don't remember his name. He was some pastor in Florida. He had 3 people in his church. It was he wasn't anybody. But for some reason, he decided he was going to burn a Quran. And somehow this thing started exploding to where, this is true, the White House called him and was like, you can't do this.
Wow. Because
abroad, they don't know that you're nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. And that's the age we live in. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, the positive side is that a great show, like what we do here, if I can be so presumptuous, can have a positive impact. Yeah. Or whatever. Mueller, She Wrote, or whoever's doing great podcasting out there. Or Ghost or She Wrote.
Oh, come on. Those girls were great. You don't say that. Don't
call
them that.
It's funny.
Okay, fine.
We gotta.
You can call them that. I'm not going to call their show that.
We got to take you to a comedy club sometime, man.
Hey, I did plenty of time in comedy. I wasn't the comic. I was the guy running the lights and the sound and giving guys like you the flashlight.
It's only when you like people that you can joke about them, or at least I do. When I don't like you, I won't make a joke about that. I just don't talk to you. Okay. So yeah, I think overall it was a great day. I kind of wish Politicon was 3 days.
Oh, I couldn't handle a third day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired. I'm beat after the 2 days in a row of this.
I could do 3. I could do a week. A week would be perfect.
Okay, if there was a third day of Politicon, I think one of the days we would have to drink all day at Politicon and just do one of the days drunk.
Yeah, you.
No, you too, not just me.
I'm cool on that.
Just say yes for the hell of it, because it's only 2 days.
No, you saw me. I have one drink. I'm cool. I don't, especially when I'm working, because.
Okay, you really, if you had me drunk at Politicon, I actually would go up to all the Ben Shapiro underlings and troll them in real life if I was drunk. So maybe it would be a bad idea for me to do that.
Yeah, because when you watch the footage the next day as you in your holding cell, although you would be probably featured on a lot of those websites.
Yeah. So, okay, bad idea. You're right.
So yeah, Politicon 2018, overall it was a great experience. If you guys enjoyed what we did or what we're doing here, you can follow us at the Mueller Time Pod. MuellerTimePodcast@gmail.com is our email. The Mueller Time Facebook page. Mm-hmm. If you could leave us a review, that would be cool because more people will see what we do. Yeah.
retweet or share some of our videos and posts.
Yeah, as they say on the internet, share if you agree.
Share if you disagree with us. Comment if you disagree. Oh, you don't want the bad comments right now. That's right.
No, I have. Oh, I did say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a friend of mine who's a lot more famous. One time we were working on. We made a video, and it was on the front page of Funny or Die. And I was reading the comments, and the comments were, there was a bunch of, I mean, some of them were hilarious, but they were a little mean. And I was laughing because I usually, I don't really care about this stuff, but he's been kind of in the public eye for so long that he was like, dude, I can't even read that stuff anymore. And I kind of see a little bit now, a little more what he was talking about. I think it had just built up to a thing. Yeah. So anyway, anything you want to add?
No, just find me on Twitter @LowProgressive.
Low Progressive, where he fights the good fight against these right wing nut jobs.
And I was too scared to do it in real life.
Well, it's like I said, it's different when you're in front of someone. But so we're gonna take, I think, a week off because we had a busy week. So we'll catch you guys next week.